Jarvis, I'm so hot.
Since you have complete admin rights, I feel obligated to agree.
What? No, Jarvis, turn off the thermostat.
Right away. But sir, you should really just buy an air conditioner. This didn't help last time either. Just a thought.
I don't like your attitude.
Foodie Style Channel. Foodie Style Channel.
That intro needs some more explosions. Hey, and welcome back to Foodie Style Channel. It's been a while, but you know, life is life.
Whoa.
Every year, there's like 1 week of immense heat during the Swedish summers. Yes, just one. This is a big problem because drinking hot tea in hot weather is not so enjoyable, and I really don't like iced tea. So we have to address that. But first, we will talk about this. This is a NEXA ZRT-106 Z-WAVE thermostat. And by the way, just to be clear, none of this content is sponsored, so what you're getting is my personal opinion on things, and if you don't like that, sir, or madam, you can just go ahead and press that subscribe button. So what makes this thermostat different from a normal thermostat? Well, you can set threshold temperatures via your home automation software. It also has an internal temperature sensor and day and night functionality. I bought several of these for our home, even though I knew the connectors were different than the ones we have on our radiators. But since I knew these come with different types of adapters, I figured it would be no problem. You know how there is a standard for something? You need an HDMI cable, for example. You go to the store and you ask for an HDMI cable. In worst case, the seller will ask you if you want a micro HDMI or a mini HDMI, but after thinking, you say, no, I think it's a normal HDMI cable. You come home with the HDMI cable and everything is great. Yeah, this is nothing like that. There are like 20 brands with 20 different connectors, and there's no logic in how they are named. I'm not going to go into depth about these radiator connectors because it's a jungle out there and we will both get more confused the more we talk about it. This specific thermostat comes with a TA connector, which is a perfectly normal M30 metric standard thread. If your heater has a TA connector, then you're all good to go. You can just screw this right on top, no problem. Just keep in mind that the old TA has an M28 metric standard thread. And if you thought that they had different names for the new and the old TA, I have bad news for you. They're both called TA, so get your caliper out and start measuring. Our radiators here at home are of Danfoss type. Danfoss has primarily 3 older type of connectors that are called RA, RAV, and RAVL. What they have in common is that they lack threads. These type of thermostats are meant to be fastened with a hose clamp that normally comes with the thermostat. It looks ugly and old, but that's how you recognize them. The difference between these 3 are mainly the sizes of the connectors. The adapters included with the NEXA thermostat are of the older Danfoss type. What I needed was the RAVL version, which is this one. Now, 2 of these have the possibility to be fastened with a screw. The RAVL one is meant to be sandwiched between the thermostat and the radiator mount. Now, this is practically impossible. I tried in every way to get this to work, but it just slips off as soon as I started to screw on the thermostat. So I bought this. Now just look at that quality difference. This is a full metal adapter. It has 4 screws to keep it in place, and it just rocks. It's a bit expensive. It costs somewhere around 10 to 15 euros or dollars, and I bought this on Amazon. It's a RAVL to M30 or TA adapter, and it's worth every single penny or euro cent or whatever you want to call it these days. So just by slipping this onto the radiator mount, fastening the screws, I could easily screw on the thermostat itself, and bam, everything was working within a minute. Okay, now I know we were supposed to talk about the thermostat, so let's talk about the actual thermostat. It takes two AA batteries. It has a backlit display, a couple of buttons for the temperature settings, a P button for inclusion/exclusion of your Z-Wave network, an M button for day and night modes, and an on-off button. You could practically use this without any home automation software, but I don't really see the point, to be honest, because you would lose a lot of functionality if you use this without home automation software. The batteries seem to last quite a long time, and you can decide the intervals at which the device reports back to the server. I think I have set these to once every 30 minutes or 60 minutes because it's not really that big of an emergency to get your thermostat to the threshold you want. And that makes the battery last a very long time. Setting up a few of these in your home is pretty easy. How easy depends on your home automation software. Now, like most of you guys know, I use Domoticz, and with Domoticz, I think I have almost full functionality. What I'm missing is the ability to set the time in the device, but that doesn't matter because everything is being regulated from the server anyway. So if I want something to be automated or happening, that's based on the time of the server. So I don't lose anything. I'm using Domoticz with Z-Wave to MQTT, by the way. It does not work with OpenZ-Wave as far as I know, so keep that in mind. No, Jarvis, turn off the thermostat. Okay, now I know what you're thinking. Jarvis is right. What are you going to do about that hot summer air? Because just turning off the thermostats is not going to cool your apartment. We need an air conditioner. This is a Smart AC from Nedis. The exact model name is like 120 letters long, so let's just call it the 16,000 BTU version. It is advertised with a capability to cool 140 cubic meters of air. And the coolest thing of all, it has Wi-Fi and Google Assistant support. And also Alexa, if you're one of those guys. It also has a built-in dehumidifier. Not too shabby for a portable AC, is it? Well, the portable prefix is to indicate it's not mounted on the outside of the wall of your home, like normal ACs are. It does not mean that you can portably bring it to your next lawn party, because this thing weighs over 30 kilos, which is a bit above 60 pounds for you non-metric weirdos out there. In the box, we can find a remote control, a couple of tube connectors, a window kit, and a 150 millimeter in diameter flexi tube with a length of 1.5 meter extended. The compressor inside an AC produces a lot of heat, and we need to push that heat out of our home via the tube to keep things cool inside. Now, the included window kit is for sliding window types, perhaps more common in North American homes. It's practically a placeholder that you can put between your window frame and your window, and then you use the included tube connector and you can just slide this into place, and bam, you have a clean setup for hot air exhaust. There is no real good solution. There are some kits you can buy. They're really ugly and they tend to leak air. And I've also seen people cut up some plastic bags and tape them around the window just to keep the hot air from moving back inside. It looks ugly, to be honest. Okay, we need a perfect solution for this. I wanted a cleaner look. So after inspecting the window frame, I decided I wanted a transparent window cover that I would make out of plexiglass. And I would use the notches around the window for aluminum bars to hold the plexiglass in place.
Epic fail.
So that was a Hootie style quality control failure. But I do have some ideas for improvement. I will rebuild this cover because when I built this, I did not yet have the AC, which was the culprit, to be honest. When I opened the package, there was one of these inside. Then I realized I could have done this much better. Since this connects directly to the flex tube, I can connect this to a new plexiglass. And also, when it comes to these aluminum bars, I'm going to use a so-called etch bar. You see, the etch bar in its construction is much stiffer and stronger than a normal aluminum bar. Alright, on with the show. So how about the smart stuff this thing can do? Well, it's pretty easy to connect. You just download their app and follow the instructions on the screen. Once you got this connected to your Wi-Fi, you can just fire up the Google Home app and add the device. Now there are some bad news. Nedis does not support IFTTT. This becomes a problem if we want custom functionality via our smart mirror. However, you can still make some routines and scenarios to work with custom commands via Google Home app and routines. The problem is that Google Assistant SDK does not support these routines, but with any other Google Assistant in your phone, for example, or any other device that you have in your home, you can use those custom routines. Let me show you how it's done. Now I know there are a lot of people concerned about noise when it comes to these portable ACs. And well, let me tell you, it's not quite. ACs make sound because compressors make sound, and there's no getting away from that. Nedis rates the noise levels of this AC to about 65 decibels, which puts it somewhere between a normal conversation volume and the noise inside a rolling vehicle. But let me tell you how this noise is perceived totally depends on the time of the day. Let me turn on the AC. I put it right next to me so you can compare my voice level to this thing. Jarvis, turn on the AC. Now that's totally acceptable during the day. I think you can hear me pretty clearly. During the day this is fine because you have environmental noise, traffic, etc. But during the late evenings and nights when there's less environmental noise, it will be perceived louder. Well, can you sleep with it on in your bedroom? It totally depends on you as a person and the size of your bedroom. Do you want to sleep in a hot, kind of silent or quiet environment? Or do you want to sleep in a cool, somewhat noisy environment? The noise is actually pretty steady, and the only time the noise levels change are when the compressor kicks in or kicks out. Jarvis, turn off the AC. Other than that, it has the normal AC stuff like an oscillating output, 3 fan speeds. What you just heard was the lowest fan speed. The higher fan speeds do make more noise. Are we happy with it? I think we are. If we have it on during the day and just keep it on during the evening and night, it doesn't come off as bad as if you would just start it up in the late evening or in the night, if that makes sense to you. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this episode and that we haven't been away from you for too long. Enjoy the rest of your summer. By the way, we have a new setting here. Doesn't mean the old setting is gone. We're just trying out some new stuff. If you like it, press like, subscribe, tell your neighbor to like and subscribe, and press that bell icon. This is Hootie, and I'll be seeing you in the next episode.
Hootie Star Channel.